It's a crisp December afternoon in 1959. You're 12 years old, holding your mother's gloved hand as you step through the heavy brass doors of Gimbel's department store in downtown Philadelphia. The warmth hits you immediately, not just from the heating, but from something magical in the air. The scent of perfume mingles with new fabric and polished wood. Overhead, tiny lights twinkle like stars and garland drapes elegantly from the ornate ceiling. The floor beneath your feet is real marble, worn smooth by millions of shoppers over decades. To your left, the cosmetics counter gleams with crystal bottles and silver compacts, while perfectly dressed women in white lab coats offer to help customers find the perfect shade of lipstick. Straight ahead, the elevators wait with uniformed operators ready to announce each floor. Second floor, ladies ready to wear lingerie and accessories. But you're headed to the most magical place of all, the toy department on the fourth floor, where mechanical displays tell Christmas stories and every child's dream seems possible. This isn't just shopping. This is theater, adventure, and community all wrapped up in one magnificent building where everything you could ever want or need exists under a single roof. This was the department store. For over a century, from the 1860s through the early 1980s, it was the beating heart of American retail and social life. It was where families shopped together, where young people found their first jobs, where fashion trends were born, and where entire communities gathered to see and be seen. It was democracy in action. Anyone could walk through those doors and be treated with courtesy and respect, whether they were buying a diamond bracelet or just browsing for inspiration. The golden age of department stores reached its peak in the 1950s and early 1960s. After the deprivations of the Depression and World War II, Americans were eager to enjoy prosperity and material abundance. Department stores provided both the goods and the experience that symbolized the good life. They weren't just places to buy things, they were cultural institutions that defined taste, taught etiquette, and created the very idea of modern consumer culture. The architecture of department stores was designed to inspire and overwhelm. Multi-story buildings with soaring atriums, grand staircases, and elaborate window displays created environments that felt more like palaces than shops. Natural light poured through skylights and large windows, while electric chandeliers provided warm, inviting illumination. The floors were often real hardwood or marble, and the fixtures were crafted from brass, mahogany, and crystal. Every detail was designed to make customers feel important and valued. The merchandise was carefully curated and beautifully displayed. Unlike modern retail environments where products are stacked efficiently on utilitarian shelving, department stores presented their goods like museum exhibitions. Clothing was arranged by color and style, jewelry sparkled under perfect lighting, and household items were staged in room-like settings that helped customers imagine them in their own homes. The visual merchandising was an art form that required skill, creativity, and understanding of psychology. Service was the cornerstone of the department store experience. Sales associates weren't just cashiers, they were personal shoppers, style consultants, and customer service experts. They knew their merchandise inside and out, could match customers with products that suited their needs, and often developed long-term relationships with regular clients. Personal shopping services were standard, not luxury add-ons. Sales associates would help customers coordinate entire wardrobes, suggest accessories, and arrange alterations. For special occasions, department store staff would work with customers for weeks to create the perfect look. The restaurant and tea room culture within department stores created social destinations that extended far beyond shopping. Elegant dining rooms on upper floors provided gathering places where ladies could meet for lunch, business people could conduct meetings, and families could make a day of their shopping expeditions. These restaurants often featured white tablecloths, professional waitstaff, and menus that rivaled standalone restaurants. They were places to see and be seen, to celebrate special occasions, and to make shopping into entertainment. Charge accounts and layaway programs made luxury accessible to middle-class families. Before credit cards became common, department stores offered their own credit systems that allowed customers to purchase items and pay over time. Layaway programs let families reserve items for special occasions, paying in installments until they could take their purchases home. These services created customer loyalty and made it possible for working families to afford quality merchandise. The escalator experience was often a child's first encounter with mechanical wonder. Department store escalators were polished, well-maintained marvels that carried customers between floors with dignity and style. Riding the escalator was part of the shopping adventure, a chance to see the store from different perspectives and build anticipation for what waited on each floor. Many department stores featured grand central escalators that served as focal points for the entire shopping experience. Window displays were works of art that changed with the seasons and attracted crowds of admirers. Professional window dressers created elaborate scenes that told stories and showcased merchandise. During Christmas, department store windows became tourist attractions, with families making special trips just to see the displays. Employment opportunities in department stores provided career paths for thousands of Americans, particularly women. Sales positions offered respectable work with opportunities for advancement. For young people, working in a department store was often their introduction to professional life. Fashion leadership came naturally to department stores through their buying power and cultural influence. Store buyers traveled to fashion capitals to select merchandise that would set trends for entire regions. Department stores were often the first places where customers could see the latest styles, making them tastemakers for their communities. Children's departments were magical wonderlands, designed to enchant young customers. Toy departments featured elaborate displays and seasonal attractions. Clothing departments often included child-sized furniture, where children could wait while parents shopped. The decline began subtly in the late 1960s, but accelerated rapidly through the 1970s and early 1980s. Multiple factors converged to undermine the traditional department store model and change American shopping patterns forever. The rise of suburban shopping malls represented the most direct challenge to downtown department stores. These new retail environments offered convenience, parking, and climate control that urban stores couldn't match. Changing lifestyles reduced the importance of formal dress and elaborate shopping rituals. The casual revolution in fashion meant customers needed fewer formal clothes. The rise of working women also meant fewer customers had time for leisurely shopping experiences. Discount retailers fundamentally altered customer expectations about pricing and service. Stores like Kmart, Woolco, and later Walmart offered brand-name merchandise at significantly lower prices by reducing service levels. Customers began to question whether the enhanced service of department stores justified higher prices. Specialty chain stores captured market share by focusing on specific categories with greater depth than department stores could provide. Stores like The Gap, Radio Shack, and Toys R Us offered better selection and often better prices in their specialized areas. Credit card proliferation reduced the value of store charge accounts and customer loyalty programs. When customers could use bank credit cards anywhere, the convenience of department store credit systems became less important. Economic pressures of the 1970s made luxury and leisure shopping seem frivolous to many families. High inflation, energy crises, and economic uncertainty changed spending priorities and made price more important than experience. The elaborate service and beautiful environments that defined department stores began to seem like unnecessary expenses rather than valuable amenities. Real estate economics made downtown department store locations less viable. As urban cores lost population and economic activity to suburbs, the large, expensive buildings that housed traditional department stores became financial burdens. Many stores found they couldn't generate enough revenue to justify the high rents and maintenance costs of their historic downtown locations. By 1985, the transformation was largely complete. Many iconic department stores had closed, merged with competitors, or moved to suburban mall locations where they operated as smaller, less service-intensive versions of their former selves. The remaining downtown stores often struggled with reduced foot traffic, aging buildings, and competition from newer retail formats. What disappeared with traditional department stores was more than just a retail model. It was an entire approach to commerce that valued relationship, experience, and community over efficiency and price. Department stores had been cultural institutions that taught style, provided gathering places, and created shared experiences around the act of shopping. They had employed thousands of people in meaningful careers that offered advancement and personal satisfaction. The personal relationships fostered by department stores created customer loyalty that lasted for generations. Families would shop at the same store for decades, developing relationships with sales staff who knew their preferences, sizes, and needs. These relationships made shopping personal and ensured that customers received appropriate guidance and service tailored to their individual circumstances. The educational role of department stores in teaching style, etiquette, and consumer culture was significant. Through their displays, advertising, and sales staff, department stores helped customers understand quality, learn about fashion, and develop taste. This educational function helped raise the general level of style awareness and consumer sophistication in American society. Modern retail, dominated by big box stores, online shopping, and fast fashion, has gained efficiency and price advantages but lost the human elements that made department store shopping memorable and meaningful. The ability to find everything in one location with knowledgeable assistance and beautiful presentation has largely disappeared from American retail. If you remember the excitement of Christmas shopping at a real department store, the thrill of riding escalators between floors of treasures, or the satisfaction of being helped by a salesperson who really knew their merchandise, you remember a time when shopping was theater, when service mattered more than speed, and when buying something special felt like a celebration rather than just another transaction. Where was your family's department store? Do you remember the restaurant on the top floor, the elevator operator who knew your floor, or the smell of perfume and new merchandise that greeted you at the door? Those memories matter because they represent a time when commerce was personal, when quality mattered more than quantity, and when a trip to the store was an adventure that brought families and communities together.